Olá, meu nome é Luíza Teixeira e eu sou estagiária do Labicom, o Laboratório de Comunicação da Unisul, que é parceiro do SC Todo Dia. E eu hoje estou aqui com a Domenica, que morou um tempo no Brasil, e a gente vai conversar um pouco sobre os eventos que aconteceram no dia 8 de janeiro em Brasília. Hello, could you talk a little bit about yourself for the people watching at home?
Hi, I have lived in Brazil as more of a foreigner with my family, and I've lived both in Sao Paulo and in Rio de Janeiro. I am a college student right now. I'm studying political science with economics, and I'm happy to be here.
The first question would be, what was your reaction and the reaction of the people around you, especially the Brazilians, when they first heard of what happened in Brasilia?
They were negative reactions. Everyone was surprised and sad at the fact that these events happen and can happen in our society. I think especially for people from Brazil, it was just even a bit terrifying to know that people around them would go against the state and the government's decisions. I guess for me especially, I have like a really deep appreciation for the government and the government in Brazil and the systems, and looking at how people can very easily just try to like disregard all of that power and just make a lot of noise without respect, because I understand the peaceful protests and being communicative about disagreeing. I just not in agreement with violent ways, especially when it's very like disruptive and disrespectful and against such a big system such as the government, which provides good and can also have some flaws, but at the end of the day keeps the people in Brazil safe. So I feel like it's very disrespectful, and it was just like sad, shocking. It creates some fear about my family living there, about how people can actually just act that way, against something so powerful like the government.
How do you think these attacks are going to affect the way Brazil is seen by other countries?
I think that, as I said, the government is something very strong and it literally represents the country. So if groups of people can actually trespass that kind of authority or disrespect it, then it definitely lowers the kind of power it's seen around the world. I think that still it doesn't take away the power, because it happened in 2021 in the US where a similar example happened. And I think it didn't make the US seem like less powerful, but it definitely makes people and countries question their system, question their citizens, and question the type of like response it has to it. So I think that it can happen that citizens do unexpected things and disrespectful things. But I think that the way other countries and people evaluate Brazil and their government depends on the reaction from Brazilians and the government. And from what I understand, there has been little reaction and doings from the authorities. I mean, I understand that they have been like searching for the people responsible and trying to give them some type of like accountability. But I feel like the world will see Brazil depending on how much they actually make the people responsible and control in future situations how citizens can go against the government.
How do you think that what happened in January 8th will affect the Latin American democracies?
I think the governments, especially like you said, the democracies, they do have influence on each other. I think that it's especially now we've had a lot of like socialist presidents coming into power, and it started with one, but then it starts spreading around Latin America especially. I think that what happened in Brazil can do two things. It can motivate other citizens around other Latin American countries to do the same if they disagree with an election. And on the other hand, in other Latin American democracies, it might also motivate like the government to set out like the lines of democracy and how they're gonna control the power that is given to them and to the people.
Okay. Thank you so much. Para mais conteúdos como esse, nos siga nas redes sociais do Labicom e do SC Todo Dia. Até mais!
Thank you.